Bhagavad Gītā Om Jaya Bhagavad Gītā Hariya Kamala Viharini Hariya Kamala Viharini Sunara Supunite.
Wayan Midhio, Pak Wayan Midhio, kindly take the screen. Over to you, Pak.
Thank you. Thank you to Ambassador Excellency Pusaka Puja. Om Swastiastu, Namaskar. Good night to all of audience, participants. And congratulations to Rajaji, Rasa Acharya, Prabu Raja Dharmarasa for organizing this very important meeting today. And let me convey my greeting to Excellency President of World Hindu Federation, Dr. Ajay Singh. Thank you, we meet here. First of all, on this very excellent opportunity, allow me to wish you a happy Bhagavad Gītā Jayanti 2021. When we gather here to commemorate the first time the Bhagavad Gītā was delivered by Bhagavan Sri Krishna to the human race through Arjuna at the beginning of the Bharata War in Kurukshetra, of course, in India. In this opportunity, I would like to little more specific rather than I would also provide for the last year in this same seminar. Secondly, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to Guruji, Rasa Acharya Prabu Raja Dharmayasa, and the community for inviting and giving me the opportunity to speak in this very important event today. On this occasion, allow me to speak in the theme of how to understand and implement the Bhagavad Gītā. As we know, for most of Hindu, the Bhagavad Gītā may be something that is really understood. And many also have never even known that Bhagavad Gītā is. Even they don't have any book, holy book of Bhagavad Gītā. They don't understand what the content of Bhagavad Gītā. Even in India, the Bhagavad Gītā only belong to a certain class of people. And so also in various countries where the people are Hindus, including, of course, in Indonesia. So we have among us in Indonesia, we have the movement of 1 million Bhagavad Gītā also running until right now. Hindu culture has determined that only certain people are given the right and obligation to study the Bhagavad Gītā in particular, and also the Veda in general. In the past, this have been acceptable because of the various conditions encountered at the time. Many of people may be not literate, cannot speak, read letter, and even don't have chance to study about the Bhagavad Gītā or Vedas. However, with the more and more people who are literate and have sufficient knowledge, the desire to learn and understand the Bhagavad Gītā should be higher for the Hindu community. This is now starting in Indonesia. Of course, we have 1 million Bhagavad Gītā movement to provide without any, or we call in Indonesia, gratis. We provide without any buy something about Bhagavad Gītā. In this note, however, in this case, and some even question the veracity of the teaching of Bhagavad Gita. In fact, there are many non-Hindu people who study the spiritual philosophy of the Bhagavad Gita, and even prize it has the most perfect and incomparable philosophy of life, something wholesome to all of us. So many people non-Hindu starting to study about Bhagavad Gita, to learn about the philosophy of life, and most of us don't understand of what's the content of the Bhagavad Gita. However, recently many people are interested in reading and starting to find out what is contained in the Bhagavad Gita. One of the sacred Vedas, Bhagavad Gita, which means Song of the God, is full of the philosophy, which is full of meaning and interpretation. This is a problem to all of us because many people more understand the interpretation more different rather than the holy book itself. Many adherents of the Bhagavad Gita who write and interpret their views are highly dependent on their spiritual experiences and based on the sampradaya, we call the school that they follow. In this regard, who have repeatedly read and tried to understand the content of verse of the Bhagavad Gita, also have views and interpretation that I use as guideline for living as a Hindu human citizen. My understand and views might continue to change as many interaction with the Bhagavad Gita more deepen. Likewise, if activities such as the current Bhagavad Gita Jayanti commemoration continue to develop in the form of seminar and others, there will be many input opinion that we will discuss, of course, which enrich our understanding of the Bhagavad Gita personally. Bhagavad Gita, or refer to as the fifth Veda, or known as the Panchama Veda, which means holy song, as a holy book that is important position in the Hindu tradition. To the universe teaching of the Bhagavad Gita are for all of mankind, for all time, to know the secret of true life in this world in order to liberate it from the miseries of the world and the realm of the dead. We as Hindu believe that the Bhagavad Gita existed before human world history and teaching, so that it cannot be destroyed. The verses in Bhagavad Gita have very important meaning in the life of Hindu. In this case, reading the verse in the Bhagavad Gita, meaning chanting the word of Brahman or God himself. So how important we have to read and chanting the Bhagavad Gita first. The spiritual vibration of the sacred slokas or verse of the Bhagavad Gita will immediately penetrate and cleanse the heart of all its citizens. Even the people understood it or not, the slokas are the word of Brahman will influence of our life. As human citizens who believe in the sacred Vedas, Bhagavad Gita can and must be applied in our life as human beings. For children, for the children, teenagers, understanding the Bhagavad Gita should start from reading the Mahabharata or other books like Ramayana and also Puranas. It's better to more understand about the shloka or verse that explain in every chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Because chapter first, as an introduction, also explain this case. In addition, they were given the opportunity to read and memorize certain verses of the Bhagavad Gita. So we have to starting, our children should be memorized to chanting, to read every verse of the Bhagavad Gita. It's better because our children have a more new brain for more memorize of the verse of the Bhagavad Gita. To understand the content of the Bhagavad Gita, we must look at the text and context. For those who are currently studying or in the period of Brahmachari, it will be very good if it is explained in detail about the verse and describe the Varna, also mentioned to Dr. Ajay, and not the caste as in Hindu society in general. Because we know that one of the culture that influence our life is about the caste. So we have to starting give understanding more about the Varna that explained in many verses of Bhagavad Gita. Because by understanding Varna, parents and school-age children begin to understand their character, behavior, and right, so that in choosing the major matter in school, in university, it is just to the field of the work they will be informed in the future for their human life also. For the parent or the head of families who already have the responsible to support their families, the main thing is to know their duties and obligation, namely to work in the path of Dharma. As also mentioned by the ambassador, the verse of 48, chapter 2, Karmani eva dikaraste, mapalisu kadachana, makamar pama, makarma pala eturbur, mate sango setua akarmani. Work is our responsibility. Without work we cannot live. To get as much well as possible and use it for Dharma as well. So karma become, we have to work to get much as well as possible. And we have to use for Dharma as well. Because some people think that the Bhagavad Gita teaching people not to accept the fruit of work. So it's maybe this is of course wrong understanding for the certain people that say like that. We work not for the fruit of our work. We just give to the God. They talk like that. Because that's mean is the result of the work according to the right and not outside of their work. So we just receive what become our rights, the result of our right or the fruit of our karma, and not the fruit of our karma. Only by working, the process of life in the universe will be run according to the cycle, according to its cycle. That's also explained in the Bhagavad Gita. Life will exist if there are any food will become from the rainy will come from yajna or the sacrifice, and sacrifice become from Veda. They explained in some verses of the Bhagavad Gita. Likewise, the family responsibilities have been completed and people enter the period of Vanaprastha. And now I would like to explain about the Vanaprastha. So one should start in continuing the basic of understanding spiritual teaching in his new life. Because spiritual teaching must be developed in our life to get closer to God, and as much as possible while providing service to another human citizen. This is the responsible of the Vanaprastha that people will join in this period. At the time of the Bhikshuka period, people had confidently entered the spiritual realm and grew closer to the God or Brahman through spiritual activities and distance themselves from the world realism or the material realm. So we're starting to avoid our Indriya to receive everything about the material life in this period. Today in modern world, of course, this situation is very unsportive, where a social life full of the spirit of the worldly world is in conflict with the spiritual realm. But that is the way that we have to go. We have to run our life in this period of Bhikshuka. The Bhagavad Gita is indeed a way of life, but detailed guidance is found in the older script Vedas, which are the application of the demand or ex-yoga that really need to be studied in every period of life, whether during brahmachari or school age, grahastha become the parent of the family or the head of the family. Vanaprastha, if our children already free to our obligation. And then the last one, Bhikshuka period, should be starting. We make close and closer to the God, practicing our spiritual life every day. By believing and understanding the Bhagavad Gita as a way of life and being guided by Vedic teaching, our understanding of the most sacred Vedic teaching will be complete. Those are the things that I can convey at the Bhagavad Gītā Jayanti 2021st celebration. Hopefully will be increasing the understanding that we have so far. Happy Bhagavad Gītā Jayanti 2021. My Lord Bhagavan Sri Krishna grant us all the path to happiness. Jai Bhagavad Gītā. This is
Jaya
all
Bhagavad
my
Gita.
presentation. Om Shanti 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 Om.
Om Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti Shanti Om. Thank you very much, General Wayan Midhio, for your very, very rich insight on Bhagavad Gita, and in particular on the interpretation of Bhagavad Gita, how this is very important in our life as a spiritual teaching, and of course, as a way of life. A very rich explanation indeed. So without further ado, may I give now the floor to Professor Upendra Rao, because I saw